Hello and welcome to another booktube video from me, Martha May Books, and today I have for you my end of year book tag. I've got the questions down there, I've got a little dog here. Let's see my little dog. Here he is. Oh, look at you. So let's get into the questions. So the first question is, are there any books you started this year that you still need to finish? And yes, there are. Normally, if I'm reading a book, I'll read it all the way through and not read another book at the same time, or I'll DNF it and either keep it to read later or get rid of it. So I don't generally stop in the middle of books, but I do have two here that I did stop kind of in the middle of. So the first one is Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. So this is the Puffin in Bloom edition of Little Women, and it contains Little Women and The Good Wives. In the UK, generally, Little Women and The Good Wives are published separately, but in a lot of other countries they're published together under the same title of Little Women, and so I think that's the way around it is. I read Little Women to kind of reminisce after watching the film, because I read the book a lot when I was younger, and I decided I wanted to relive my childhood love of Little Women, and then I stopped because I had not read The Good Wives when I was a child. But I would quite like to read The Good Wives in December. I feel like classics, I always seem to be pulled towards classics in the winter months, and Little Women was a very cosy winter read, so I'm hoping that I will enjoy The Good Wives as well. And then the second book that I need to read before the end of the year is the Virago Book of Witches, which is edited by Sharaq Hussain. So this is a collection of stories about witches from all around the world that Sharaq Hussain has collected in this book. And so far I've read one set in Ireland and one set in India. I am really interested in witchcraft. Not in performing witchcraft, but in the history of witchcraft and witches, and also in folklore. That's one reason I want to read this. And then the second reason I want to read this is because my friend gave it to me for Christmas, and generally I like to try and read my Christmas books from the previous year before the next Christmas, because otherwise it does feel like, wow, I've had this for a year and I've still not read it. Even though I have a lot of books for a year and haven't read them, Christmas books feels different because there's an actual date that I received them and had them for a year and haven't read them, if that makes sense. Do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? At the moment, it is the very end of November. By the very end of November, I mean it's the last week in November. And so in the UK, at least where I'm based, autumn's kind of over. Pretty much all of the leaves have fallen off of the trees, and all of the leaves have kind of started to rot as well underfoot. So it doesn't really feel like autumn anymore. It's starting to get wintry, although there's still some lovely sunlight, so maybe I'm just being cynical. I feel like I've already read quite a lot of my autumnal books for this year, but I do have one author that always feels quite autumnal to me, but at the same time she kind of fits in with any season because I love reading this author in the summer as well, and that is Robin Hobb. So this is The Golden Fool, which is book 2 of the Tawny Man trilogy. I'm currently reading all of The Realm of the Eldlings, and I'm on book 2 of the Tawny Man trilogy. I mean, just looking at this, it looks autumnal because it's gold, but I also feel like Robin Hobb fits into any season because there's so much nature. Like, Fitz is so in touch with the natural world that you can kind of fit it into any season, but I do really want to get back into some epic fantasy because the last one I read was The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin, and that was in September. So I've not read any high fantasy, epic fantasy since September. So I really want to read some more. And so I thought Robin Hobb would be a good one because I love Robin Hobb's books. And so it's kind of autumnal, but also autumn's kind of over, so. Is there a new release you're still waiting for? Yes, kind of. I don't have any more new releases that haven't yet come out, but I do have a new release which I haven't yet got my paws on, which is Mexican Gothic. So I have been saying for the whole year pretty much that I really want to read Mexican Gothic. I'm really looking forward to it. And I am not someone who generally buys new books hardcover unless they're by an author I've already read and love and want to collect the books from. And so I have no intention of buying Mexican Gothic, especially not in hardback. If it comes out in paperback before I've managed to get it from the library, which is my plan, then I might buy it. But I'm generally not someone who buys a lot of books anyway. So I've had Mexican Gothic on hold from the library for many months. I had it on hold in my previous library, then I moved house, cancelled my hold on my previous library, put Mexican Gothic on hold my library here. But now we're in a second lockdown, and first of all, the book's not even come into the library for me, so don't worry that I've like got it on hold and I'm not getting it. The book's not come into the library for me yet, and I've had it on hold for 3 months. So technically, yes, I am still waiting to read Mexican Gothic. What are 3 books I want to read before the end of the year? I have them right here for you. Well, I don't actually, I've only got one of them. The first one is Mexican Gothic. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I'm manifesting it. The second book that I want to read before the end of the year is The Last Wish, a Witcher book. I think it's the first book in The Witcher. This is another one that I got for Christmas last year. I got it from my brother and I want to read it. As I said, I want to get back into reading some high fantasy, and I've seen some Witcher TikToks and I was like, this actually looks really cool, so I want to read it. We'll see how we go. I've not watched the Netflix show. I've watched my brother play the video game, but I've not played it myself. The last one is my next Mr. B's book. I have a reading subscription to Mr. B's Emporium of Reading Delights, which is an independent bookshop in Bath, and they do a reading subscription for 6 or 11 months, and I have one. I'm working on a video review of the subscription. I'm hoping to get that up in December so that people can watch it and either ask for a Mr. B's subscription for Christmas or get one for Christmas for someone else, because it is so fun. I'll give you that as a spoiler. I know the author of the next book, and it's a sci-fi, which I've not had from them yet, and I've not really read a lot of sci-fi. Hopefully they'll send me one of those and I will read it. Those are the 3 books I want to read before the end of the year. The next question is there a book you think could still shock you and become your favourite book of the year? Now, I don't generally choose a favourite book of the year, just because, like, at the end of the year, I kind of look back at my reading, see how many books I've read, how many of each genre, stuff like that. I've got some statistics videos coming for you. Well, one. I've got a statistics video coming for you guys as well, but I don't really pick a favourite. Maybe I could choose some favourites from various genres. Have you already started making reading plans for 2021? Yes, I have. So there's a couple of new releases that I'm excited for. There's 3 that are, oh no, 4. There are 4 that are full on my radar. I think I'm going to make a new releases I'm excited for video. Wow, I'm just flogging all the videos to you that aren't even out yet. But I think I'm going to make a new releases I'm excited for 2020 edition video either in January or December. So I don't think I'll tell you them here. But yes, obviously the new releases I'm excited for, I will read in 2021, so those are some reading plans. And then I also have really been wanting to reread a YA fantasy series that I read in second year in uni, which is the Shades of Magic series by V. Schwab. So this series I loved. I think, I say second year, I think I might actually have read them in first year of uni and just adored them. I'm kind of wanting to reread them, but I don't know if I should, because I kind of feel like I should just read new books. This is my problem with rereading. Like, sure, reread one book. This is for me, I'm not saying about other people. Read one book or read a like children's series over. So obviously I read Chronicles, not a lot, but this is like this one's quite a long book, so maybe I won't reread them, but I want to reread this series. And then aside from that, I'm kind of thinking I might try and read less from the library, which probably won't happen, because if everything goes how everyone wants it to in 2021 and the virus magically disappears, I will be in the library like non-stop. But it's always my goal every single year to try and get my owned TBR down, because I own so many books that I haven't read and I really want to read all of them, but then I get distracted by new things. Even though the books that I own when I got them I was very excited for, now if I can get a new book from the library, then obviously I'm going to go for that one and I'm going to read that one. So maybe my plan for next year is to read more of my owned TBR, as it always is, every single year, and I never do it. But hopefully this year I will. That was my end of the year book tag. If you've done this tag, please let me know in the comments and I will come and watch it. If you want to do this tag and no one has tagged you in it, just do it. No one's tagged me either. So yes, also if you want to do it and you're thinking of doing it, comment and I'll be like, do it. Is there anything else I want to say? No, there's not. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. Oh, am I asking people to do that now? Maybe I am. I'm gonna go now. Goodbye to you.